Hey everybody, welcome to Hit Rewind. I'm Michael and Ron's on the other side. We are doing a perfect concert playlist of basically the biggest modern rock bands of the 80s, early 90s. It's U2, R.E.M, and the Pretenders. You could argue there's other ones, but we already did In Excess, so your argument's over with. I can't think of anybody else.
In excess of excess.
Yeah, I mean, there was the Smithereens, but they were never really that big. They were kind of just like cult radio darlings and stuff like that, Concrete Blonde, but it really is these guys. Um,
Yes.
so I'm gonna start off with my list, and we both have the same breakdown for once, which I think hasn't happened in like probably 30 episodes.
It hasn't. Well, I like to throw monkey wrenches in the works.
Sometimes, and it almost didn't. Your initials are the same exact as one of these bands, and you were going to make them their headliners. I don't know, well, not necessarily because of that, right? Because you thought you would like them more.
I wanted it to work out that way, but I thought I knew more about R.E.M. than I did of U2, or listened to them more than I did U2, and I realized no, that wasn't the case.
I will say this: I am a bigger fan of 80s U2, but 90s REM.
I'd have to agree.
Yeah, it's I don't know what happened. Like for me, U2, once they got so huge with it's not Rattle and Hum. It's whatever the 1991 album is with One and Mysterious Ways. Why can't I think of it? Chung Baby. They started, yeah, they started experimenting, and a lot of their albums during that era are kind of lame. And then like 2000 hits, and all of a sudden they're kind of back to where they were in the 80s. It's just that arena rock kind of thing, but with a lot more thought put into it. That's what I love about their 80s stuff is it's so thoughtful. Um, and in the 80s, I feel like REM was still trying to find their footing. They were college rock darlings with only a couple of cult hits, and then they kind of hit it with a couple decent sized ones in the late 80s. And then by the 90s, it seems like they were like, oh, we're just an adult contemporary band. Okay, we'll make music for grown-ups.
Was that supposed to be us?
Yeah, well, no, not at the time, but us now.
Not at the time.
Yeah. I don't think I appreciated any of these bands at the time. Mindy had one of the REM CDs. I had one U2 CD, and I didn't really even discover the Pretenders outside of like classic rock radio. Like I just knew a couple of them. But that's what I'm gonna start.
Into this final kick that I'm on, I'm thinking I might have to add a couple of U2 albums. Actual albums to my collection here.
Let's go on a side note here real quick. So I'm back into getting physical media. I think I told you. My CDs are my choice. Everybody's crazy about vinyl right now. For me, it's because I listen to music and I don't want to flip them over. And a lot of times I'm listening in my car.
Yes.
Cassettes.
I'm into both.
Cassettes, well, I mean, yeah, if you're just like chilling in your house, I get it. Just like, hey, 4 or 5. There is an aesthetic to it. Plus, I love the unique designs they're doing now to the vinyl, which we never had as a kid. It was just black, just plain generic black vinyl. But cassettes have taken off, and I'm shocked by cassettes because they never really sounded that great. So you can't say that. And I guess they're starting to do limited edition castings, like the plastic castings of the tapes, which are kind of collectible. But for the most part, the only thing that was cool about cassettes was you could beat the snot out of them. They still work.
Yes. Just don't leave them in your window of your car.
I know,
Most
Queen
CDs,
Greatest
I guess,
Hits.
could be the same.
Yeah. Now you still have your cassettes, correct?
I have a majority of them, and they, except for the exception of a couple that I was a moron and left in the garage, they still work, I think.
Oh, okay.
Problem is, with the tape deck I have right now, needs new belts, so I'm afraid to put them in there.
Yeah, I know a kid who's I love cassettes. I was like, why? And he goes, well, it's the only thing that works in my car. Yeah, I have an old car.
I will say, I love my cassettes, but I would definitely, I don't think I'll ever go back to that. Going back to vinyl is one thing because it's no different than a CD it's just, an older version of CD. In my case, it's definitely different technology.
Yeah.
But audio cassettes, you risk eating the tape.
Oh my God, yeah.
Gone. I'm like, yeah, I think I'm not going back there.
The pencil.
I will cherish the ones I have.
Yeah.
But
the hope that your pencil will fix it all and you can feed it just back right. I don't want to do that again. Yes, CDs scratch, but you can polish them. I'm shocked that we never had a midpoint in the early 2000s where they said, hey, why don't we make more durable CDs? Unless they didn't, I don't know about it. They went straight to digital. Like that was completely moved on. Whereas movies, they're like, well, we're going to do Blu-ray, we're going to do 4K. There is no like super CD that's scratch resistant that sounds a little bit better. I'm just shocked.
There is a newer medium. I think I read on this somewhere where a new medium is similar to CDs, DVDs that holds even more.
What is it?
Like you literally hold. I can't remember what it's called, to be honest.
Okay.
I'll have to look that up. But literally, I could hold every song I could ever want on one disc.
Oh, okay. Well, that'd be really cool.
You know, I'm like.
Well, why did they ever put music on Blu-ray? I mean, like your Blu-ray player could at least play it just like a CD player could. You know, like I don't get it. So, like you could fit all of like Cheap Trick's albums on 1 or 2 Blu-rays. You know, and that would save a lot of space.
I think the biggest issue there's 2 reasons there. One, everyone wants to push you towards digital storage in the ether because they can charge you for that.
Yeah.
And 2, DVD or Blu-rays still have that skipping issue. If you're taking this out and about somewhere or in your car or whatever, you run the risk of, you know, it's still essentially at the base root of it the same kind of medium as a CD. So
yeah, all right. Excuse me, where were we?
It does make it a lot easier, except for the fact you'd have to have a stereo that makes it real easy to find what you want. Because at some point, where's that return on investment or what's the word I'm looking for? Where's that point of no return where you're like, okay, this is just too many folders to cycle through while I'm trying to drive my freaking car, you know?
Yeah, I think it got crazy at one point. There was like, I have a 60 CD changer in the back of my car. Didn't we know someone?
Yes.
Did Dave have one of those? Where it was in the trunk of his car with a CD changer?
I think so.
Yeah, that's wild. All right, we're stalling enough, but these episodes never really take long when we just go through the playlist. But yeah, the Pretenders are one that always seemed a little bit out of my age range, even when they were at their peak. So I never really listened to it. It seemed like something maybe my mom would listen to because she was more into modern rock. But now I completely and absolutely enjoy them. And yes, most of these are all the hits, and I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. I had to ditch some too to make my list. Did you stay within 30 or did you go over?
I am at 33 total.
Okay.
So 1 for each person, I think. I think we're good.
All right.
And I did trim, so.
Okay. I am starting the Pretenders off with Don't Get Me Wrong.
Okay.
What in the world did I write? I can't read my writing. Brass in Pockets number 2, but number 3 is Kaverd. You know what? There might not. There may not be a 3. I don't know what it says. K. Squiggle, 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 squiggle. Duh. All right, so I just made up a song.
One of the best songs I ever made.
Maybe they had a song named Kid, and I just don't remember it now. All right, Never Do That is next. My City Was Gone, which I'm pretty sure that's the one where it's a way to go, Ohio. I'm thinking now.
Mm-hmm. I think you're right. Yeah.
Back in the Chain Gang. I'll Stand By You, and then it ends with Middle of the Road.
That's funny. I put Middle of the Road in the middle of the road.
Well, that makes sense, actually. I didn't do my normal. I think I just went chronologically on a lot of this instead of.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same way.
I usually try to like really organize it, but there's nothing like really seem like I gotta start here, I gotta end here. You know?
Yeah, I think if I had more time to listen to it a few more times through, I might be able to come up with a better lineup. But
yeah,
I started off with Room Full of Mirrors.
Okay.
That's probably the one I put some thought into. In Middle of the Road, just felt like it belonged in the middle because it kind of slows down a little bit. Wait, hold on. We're gonna get copyright striked. Hang on. Yes, it slows down a little bit, and sorry for the pause there. It's
okay.
In my ears. But that's the only thought I put into it. So unfortunately, I don't have any sort of rhyme or reason to this. So let's get back to it. Room Full of Mirrors, Message of Love. Thumbelina is a song I don't think I've ever heard before, and I actually really like this song.
Okay.
My City Was Gone, of course. Wasn't that song on the Small Soldiers soundtrack? I feel like it was on some soundtrack at some
I don't know.
point.
The only song that I ever remember from that movie is "Whoa, Hoo, Gook
Yeah.
out, y'all. What is it? What's for? Don't." I'll take any opportunity to sing that part.
Yep. And every one of them had like a kick up of bass, just to kind of
Yeah.
a remix, if you will.
Right.
Or My City Was Gone, Middle of the Road. Louie, I went into thinking it was a cover, and if it is, it's a very slowed down version of it, because I don't know if anybody even knows the words.
Did you
to
understand the words? That was gonna say, because yeah, Louie is a okay. Fun story about Louie, and I don't think I've ever told this story on the show. I was in an Arby's, I don't know, like 7 years ago, and I had already ordered. I was just standing there waiting for my pickup order, and someone came in and gave the order. She goes, "What's your name?" And he goes, "Louie." You know, like the song Louie, back when music was real. I was like, "Is that?" Yeah, but I was like, that's what you're going to use as an opportunity to tell people? No one knows what that song's about. It's drunken nonsense. Pick a better song, you dork.
So there are two words I know in that song: Louie and
I think "oh" is a word, right? I don't know.
There we go.
Yeah.
Where did I leave off? Louie, Don't Get Me Wrong is in there. Time the Avenger, I'll Stand By You. And now I'm going to run out. Well, actually, that's going to be kind of what feels like we're running at the end of the concert there. I'll Stand By You, moving into that stuff. But they're going to end on a combo of Space Invader and their cover of Saber Dance. I think that would be, and that's how I would end.
Yeah. I could see that happening. Yeah. All right, so R.E.M. is next. I'm basically just going chronological here. Radio Free Europe I didn't even know it was theirs because it's so much more punky and upbeat, but they kept playing it on that alternative station that we had as kids. I want to say it was 94.7. Yeah, I'm always trying to remember the old radio stations, but they played that all the time, and I was like, who is this? And one day they said R.E.M. I was like, what? They had a lot more energy back then.
Yes, definitely.
Maybe the one I love is Too Early in the set list. I'm going to move it back a little bit. I want to go a little more fast paced. Keep it going. End of the World, as we know it, and I Feel Fine. Stand, which for me, every time I think of Stand, yes, I saw the music video first, but I always think of the intro to that TV show Life Goes On with Chris Elliott. Do you remember that show?
Life Goes On with Chris Elliott.
Is it Life Goes On?
No,
it's not Life Goes On. What is it? Where he's an idiot. Oh, Get a Life.
There you go.
Yeah, where he's an idiot paperboy at like 35, and it's just kind of a spoof of what if Leave It to Beaver had stayed the same but as an adult and became an idiot. So yeah, that was the theme song for the show. Then I'm going to do the one I love, which I think is much more pensive and deeper sound for later in the concert. I'm kind of skipping the whole 1991 album. I don't know. The whole thing just seems so overwrought. Losing My Religion was like their big one, and Shiny Happy People is look, I just don't want to hear it. They're depressing songs.
Right.
But Man on the Moon, maybe it's a little sad, but I think it's just got a very catchy like chorus, and it's just kind of a fun vibe. And then going into what's kind of the sequel to that is The Great Beyond, which was in the Man on the Moon movie with Jim Carrey. What's the Frequency, Kenneth? Bad Day. And Orange Crush is an older one, so I guess I didn't go completely chronological, but I do love that one. And I think basically their last hit from like 2003, I think it was Imitation of Life, will close out the concert.
Okay.
All right, what's your list?
I gotta bring it back up. Hang on.
Okay. La 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 la. This is the stalling moment. Go ahead.
There we go. All right. So I am actually at 10 on that one.
Okay.
Thought I had more than that. Okay. Do I? 1, 2, 3. We'll find out here in a minute. So I have no particular order as usual because, I'm just disorganized. That's who I am. However, Strange felt like a good opening song.
Okay.
So we're going to start with that. The one I love, It's the End of the World as We Know It. Drive.
That's a really good one.
Man
Yeah.
on the Moon. Yes, I love Drive. Man on the Moon. Radio Free Europe. Problem with looking at your list on Spotify is that it cuts off titles. Where was I at? Radio Free Europe, Life and How to Live It. Can't Get There From Here. And I have two more. The Finest Work Song. And then I kind of want to go out on Stand.
Okay. Yeah, you got some deep cuts in there. I think the fans will appreciate that.
All right.
All right.
I tried.
So, I mean, clearly the biggest band of the bunch. I mean, you're talking probably 100 million albums sold worldwide. One of the few bands that still sells today is U2. I mean, them and Bon Jovi are basically the only arena rock bands, maybe Foo Fighters, that can still like not only sell out concerts, but look, they're number one on the charts or whatever, and they still can go gold. Look, saying that now seems silly when you think about how CDs were selling, 30 years ago. It only went gold. That's a flop. If you sell 500,000 copies now, oh wow, that's insane.
Yes. Well, if you sell anything physical.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do think it's weird that at my job that there's way more album like records than there are CDs, and there's no new CDs. Yeah.
Target the other day, and it just blew my mind how big that section's actually gotten.
Yeah.
Which works well for me, except I tend to go for like the vintage stuff.
Oh, okay. So you're going through like the cheaper bins, you mean? I'm not paying these prices.
I have a couple. Like I have the new Striper album that was released.
Okay.
It's cool looking, but but that's probably the only new album I've bought. Everything else is old or new old.
When I was collecting vinyl, the only new one I ever got was on clearance on Record Store Day for like $8, and I was like, "Well, that's my limit."
I think the most I've spent on any of my albums has been less than 20.
Okay, I saw one I really wanted.
About 10, $12.
Yeah, I saw one that I wanted, and they were like $60. Like, no, just no. Never happened.
Yeah, there's a lot of good ones out there. You just gotta be willing to not buy the first one you see, because there are other sellers that are going to have one that's for like half the price. Well, and it's still just as good a shape.
I will tell you and the listeners that there is an eBay strictly just for music. They sell in every format. It's called Discogs. Has the same kind of protection. They have reviews and ratings, and you can bulk order, to save on shipping, that kind of stuff. It's all protected by like the PayPal kind of thing or your credit card. So if you're ever looking for albums, especially like international ones that are hard to get, I got a whole bunch of Japanese imports because they had bonus tracks, and it didn't cost me very much at all. So if you're a collector, that's where you go.
I second that.
All right, so U2. I want to start off with Pride. I love that. What do you call that drum? That type of drumming? It's almost like band drumming, military style.
I thought I had Pride on here. I don't have Pride on here.
Oh wow!
I must have cut that one.
Yeah. Well, no, I had to cut a lot. So I'm going there. Then I'm going New Year's Day, With or Without You. Still haven't found what I'm looking for. Going back a little bit to one of their early tracks, Sunday, Bloody Sunday. Then back to the Ride on Hum album, where The Streets Have No Name. I Will Follow, Desire. And so the last few here are really just like, it's weird how they only have 4 tracks from their last, 25, 35 years. 35 years. Holy smokes. Even Better Than the Real Thing. Mysterious Ways, which is the first track I really like. They caught my attention. I was like, I got to get this album. Beautiful Day, and then Vertigo. And you have no idea how many I had to no, I can't do it. I can't add this one either.
You can't. Why?
Because these are my rules. I stick to 30 tracks and that's it. Though, considering the one of the tracks I can't read from Pretenders, I'm going to go ahead and throw in Stuck in a Moment You Can't Get Out of. I love that song.
There you go. That's just a solo moment. That's
yeah. All right. Go ahead with your list.
Okay, so I want to start off with Desire. We got to have that one in there.
Okay.
That's going to be how the stage is going to light up. Anyway, Bullet the Blue, and then move that into Bullet the Blue Sky. So this is a song that I knew from back in the day. Like, I remember Creation in '93.
Okay.
First time I heard, I think Guardian covered this song.
Did they?
And I think so. I've got it on cassette somewhere. I'll have to look that up. But regardless, that was the first time I'd ever heard Bullet the Blue Sky. I'm thinking, I love this song. And then I'm looking through this list. I'm like, wait. This is a U2 song?
That's neat.
I thought they did the cover. Like, they covered it.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
You know what's funny is U2 always seems like a Christian band without, like, really labeling themselves as such.
Better message in their music. I think that lends itself to that.
Yeah. Well, isn't he I think he's deeply Catholic, so I mean that's a big part of who he is, and you feel that emotion in his music.
That's the Catholicism's big in Ireland, right? If I remember correctly.
Well, there's that whole thing for years, the whole battle between Protestant and Catholic. You know what? Not the show for this.
I mean, that's everywhere. That's everywhere, but yeah, not the show for that. Moving on. So let's see, where did I still haven't found what I'm looking for. Angel of Harlem. I've got Sunday Bloody Sunday.
I didn't do Angel of Harlem.
Now, I wasn't going to throw Who's Gonna Ride Your Wild Horses, but I really like this song. So I'm like, this is perfect. This and Parrot with Mysterious Ways kind of brings it down in the middle. Okay. And then I'm moving on from that to New Year's Day. 1. Now I'm ending out my 2 extra. I've got 2 extras here, I think, something like that. 1 or 2 extras. No, I had 1 extra. All Along the Watchtower is actually a Jimi Hendrix cover, I think.
Yes.
That's it, Jimi Hendrix.
Wait, you know what? I feel like it was a Bob Dylan song that only did okay, and Jimmy covered it, and that's when it blew up. I could be wrong.
Oh, it's very possible.
Yeah.
There are so many songs from that era where like 4 or 5 different artists covered it, and they released them in like either in the same year or very close to each other.
Oh yeah, well it was like standards. You know, like the way Frank Sinatra and those guys, they would all have one song and they all shared it.
Yes. So I've got All Along the Watchtower, and I'm going to end their set on American Soul.
Okay.
It's a good upbeat. And there we are.
The one
I probably cut 7 songs.
Yeah, like their Zooropa era, I never really got into. It was very strange. There's like 2 albums they did where I just could not get into it at all. But I did like that one song during that time that they did for the Batman Forever soundtrack. That Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me. That's another one where I had to ditch it. So.
Right. It is what it is.
Yep.
Now, if we did this, okay, we've got no openers. Yeah, we're big enough. We don't need an opener.
Yeah,
that would be awesome. But
well, I mean, it's almost could have been like the way we have done, where it's 2 bands are so big. Right. So my plan.
Not saying they aren't big.
Yeah.
Obviously they are big, but that's not our rules.
Gotcha. So the plan for you listeners and Ron, which I haven't really discussed, what I'm thinking is, we're gonna go into. We already did one episode about glam rock and stuff like that. I don't want to do nonstop glam rock, so we'll find stuff to break it up. We'll do maybe 1 or 2 of those. And I told you that I would do a late 80s country episode, and I'm sure there's something else we can find in there. We still haven't done like 80s dance bands. I mean, I'm sure there's somebody in there. I love Gloria Estefan and the Miami Sound Machine. There
we go.
Yeah. The Pointer Sisters. I love the Pointer Sisters.
Okay.
There's stuff in there that we can break it up so it's not constant that. But we will be choosing 2 or 3 glam metal. I feel like this is still not the right name. Hard rock. Let's just say hard rock. Bands for the next episode.
Is it safe to say hair bands?
I guess that always seems kind of insulting though, because that era also includes Skid Row, Guns N' Roses, and Tesla, and we know that they were just more than hair bands. Bon Jovi.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Bon Jovi is more than a hair band, and it shows because they survived so well into the 90s and early 2000s.
Well, I never really pigeonholed those bands into they all have the big hair.
So well, it's not so much. Yeah, it's not so much you. It was the media selling us grunge. And instead of kind of taking a break, they basically just like shoved it down into the toilet, flushed it, and it's like, never more. All right, so that is it, everybody. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Ron, for this episode, and have a good one. And keep on rocking.
Yeah. Take care, guys. Be kind.